Tim, you wanna do the introductions as always? Wait, let me make sure I'm recording. Okay, we're good.
So this is episode 10?
9.
9. Okay.
Always one off.
I thought it was special because I thought we were gonna be at the double digits, but I guess we'll wait another week for that one.
Another week.
But all right, episode 9, fine 9. We're going with the off-ball linebackers.
Mm-hmm.
A little mixture of some middle guys, a little outside 4-3 guys, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So I have today a tall boy of light beer. Since we can't go to any sporting events, I decided to get one for myself, and it did not cost me $12. So it was a nice.
That always helps. I have a. I just grabbed this at the distributorship beer. Mango, like a mango beer.
Interesting.
I'm a fan. I don't really like fruity beers, but anything with like mango, like I love mango. So.
Interesting. Okay, that's a little something, a little summer sunshine.
What are we sipping on, Pat?
I'm sipping on some Poland Springs.
Poland Springs.
Are you gonna get waterboarded with that water there later?
Yeah.
Hey, Poland Springs is legit. You know.
No alcohol in the dungeon allowed.
Gotta stay hydrated.
Yeah, gotta stay hydrated in the dungeon.
In the dungeon.
All right. So Pat, as the guest, we'll welcome Patason as our 7th guest now. More proof that we really don't set the bar too high on the guests. So if you ever want to, we'll take anyone at this point. All right, Pat. So start us off. You got number 10.
Number 10, I put down Roquan Smith.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay.
I will say before you get into it, Pat, he was the hardest decision, and I ultimately left him off my list. So
I also left him off my list. He was close, and then Hey, he's on a good defense. I kind of expect more from him.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But go ahead, Pat.
Pretty young. He got drafted 8th overall.
Mm-hmm.
He had a good first rookie year. He had a great rookie year, and then sort of fell off a little bit last year with the pectoral injury. But I expect big things next year. Roquan Smith.
That was my thing that bothered me. I didn't like. I know his health was a thing, but I didn't like that the whole defense kind of fell off, and him included.
That's what I had the hardest time understanding with the Bears. Like every single player across the board on that defense had a down year. Like you would think at least one person would have had a good season, but they all were just
a lot of injuries. So I mean, maybe Roquan is more to it than we thought, but. I mean, I like him. I don't think he's a bust, but I still need to see some more as a number overall pick.
He's easily top 15 linebacker. I probably would have had him 11 or 12. But
I agree with you there.
I saw a list that had him 7 and 8 in their top 10, so can't disagree with that.
Yeah,
Tim, who you got at you got 10?
So mine was a little different. My 10, I probably guarantee I don't think either of you guys are going to have on your list. But I wasn't going to put him in there at all. I was looking at guys like Roquan Smith. Mm-hmm. But just looked more into it, and, I really like him. And I went with guy just signed a new contract this offseason. I went with Joe Sherbert.
Yeah, I do not have –
he's top 10.
I tantalized.
Listen, I didn't think either of you guys were. I mean, I wasn't going to put him in there either. And you just first off, he left the Browns. He's going to the Jaguars. I like that for them. The Jaguars are a train wreck everywhere all over that team, but I do think him and Miles Jack will actually be nice.
I didn't have Miles Jack anywhere near this list, but I think he's still got potential to.
Yeah, same. He had a couple great years.
He needs to go back to inside, Miles Jack. Or I'm sorry, outside. He needs to play outside linebacker, especially weak side. I think is his best position.
Well, isn't that what he played in college? He played outside.
College and NFL are two completely different things there, Gazelle.
Well, I know what I'm saying.
Johnny Manziel and Tim Tebow were also great in college.
All right, well, that's –
But my point is –
whatever.
My point is Joe's going to go move inside, and Miles Mack is going to move, I would say to the weak side linebacker spot, and I think that's going to help them a lot. I still think the Jaguars are going to be a train wreck, so I wouldn't get my hopes too high. But me being the guy that I am, I always come with highlights for you guys. Kind of help educate with visual cues.
Let me allow the screen sharing. Is it allowed? Wait,
is it? I didn't try yet. Nope, disabled the part. We've done. How many highlights do I bring? This is 4 weeks in a row, guy. Get it together.
I forget how to screen share. Oh, multiple. There we go.
Before I get to that, I'll go back to a couple other things that I like about him. Obviously, he got the new contract. He's paid ninth highest paid linebacker in the league now. So I think right around where I have
him.
I mean, I have him at 10. He's 9. I don't think that's too
He was from the Browns, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, last year he does a little bit of everything. He had 4 interceptions, 9 passes defense, 2 forced fumbles, 7 tackles for loss, all solid numbers.
Yeah, him and somebody else on my list left the teams that they were on and signed decently sized contracts.
Yeah.
I was surprised that the Browns just let him go. Like,
yeah, they're paying a lot of guys, but he's still 26, getting better. He was a Pro Bowler in 17 when he led the league in tackles with 144. 4 interceptions surprised me. That's kind of what jumped into my mind immediately, because that's a lot more than I would ever think for a linebacker, especially a linebacker that I really never hear of in the audience. He gets a little fanfare, but I'll show you my little highlight clip of him here.
Okay.
So this is him against the Rams. This is just like play recognition, really. You'll see him right here. This is my dude.
Okay.
He's going to, get in the spot for the play action here. So he's going to right there at the line of play action, immediately turns right around. Robert Woods runs with him. Boom. Interception. That's pretty impressive. The guy literally
good reaction.
He turned around from a dead stop at the line of scrimmage to get right into a comfortable position, get into a defensive position, make a play on the ball, and turnover as a result. Like I said, 133 tackles last year. He led the league 2 years ago in 2017. He's consistent. I think he's going to rack up even better stats with the Jaguars, mostly because there's no one else in that defense besides Miles Jack that's any good.
Yeah.
I think he's a solid guy. I think he's going to get better, too. I think he's really polishing his game all around. But that was my guy. He's a little out there, a little wild card.
Interesting.
So I kind of wanted to throw him in there for some spice.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's top 10 candidate, but
yeah, he's up.
Maybe
He's in the discussion.
Well, we'll take the word for the expert. I've been doing these videos for a while here, guest. Simmer down there, calling me out on number 10 guy. My 9th video, not yours.
So maybe this might be the first time we've ever had like everyone at number 10 who neither of us had. This is somebody I think I feel like he's kind of underrated, and maybe it's just because of the team he plays on, and he was hurt in 2018. He only played in 6 games, but he played a full season last year and made no, he didn't make the Pro Bowl last year, but he made the Pro Bowl the year 2 years before that. But I went with Dion Jones of the Falcons.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't have him on my list. He was close. I was thinking about him, and he's number 11. I like Joe a little bit better.
Okay.
I saw a lot of lists pretty high up.
Yeah,
he's got the injury concern. Joe didn't give me that. The guy gets hurt. They were, I think, 4-7 when he got hurt. In 18 was when he missed the 11 games or whatever. He's just he's smaller too. That's the other thing. I worry about the injury thing. He's a smaller guy for a linebacker.
6'1", 220. It's not that small. But LSU product. He's only 25 and he's already played. This will be his 5th season now. You look at it like he's the heart of that. Like the Falcons ask him to do so much. Like he is for being 6'1", and 220 pounds. He's fast as hell. Like he's covering people. He's running and protecting the line when stopping the run. The Falcons ask him to literally man the entire field, and he does a hell of a job of it, I think. And I think that injury concern is what plagues him. Why a lot of people don't really look at him as a top linebacker. But he was a second round pick. And I don't know. I just think his PFF was 76.6, that was pretty, solid. Like, I had guys who were higher that had even lower PFFs than that, but I think he's the guy. He just has to stay healthy. If the Falcons got some decent pieces, they got Grady Jarrett on the line and some decent secondary. So if they can, help support him, I think he'll just thrive even more. So.
Listen, I hear you. The injury concern was my main issue with why I put Sherbert above him. I also think I think Sherbert's much better in run defense than Dion Jones. He graded poorly in PFF with it, but just watching some of like his highlights from last year, which I had to do because I didn't know a ton about Sherbert, to be honest with you. But Jones is good. I had him at 11. It could have been a coin toss between the two of them, to be honest with you.
Solid ice cream choice.
Yeah. Oh, now I got you.
So you laughed and you didn't even get the joke. Thanks,
I was being nice to you. You make a lot of jokes that I think just need a laugh.
All right, moving on. Let's Patason. What you got at number 9?
I got a Jet, C.J. Mosley, 4-time Pro Bowler.
Okay.
Interesting.
Okay.
28. Has had some good years. I think he's still got some good years left.
Yeah.
I think he'll be the only half decent player on that Jets defense after Jamal Adams' departure.
Yeah, they went from like a decent defense to just him. And like that guy on the line, I forget what his name is that they drafted.
Williams.
Williams, yeah. The guy who says "bless you" to himself when he sneezes, but
I like Mosley. I had him rated a little bit higher. I mean, I didn't. I think next year he could probably be much higher than where I had him this year, just because I think he's still being a stud. He obviously got hurt last year, which sucks. But
I had him slightly higher, and it's just because I feel like I saw some lists that had him like back end of the like teens. And I'm just like, the dude was a 4-time Pro Bowler. Like, he was hurt last year. He played 2 games, I think, or 1 game. Like, what do you – unless they're really concerned about the injury, I'm not too concerned about it. I think he'll bounce back and be – I mean, he was getting 130 tackles a season. I mean, I'm not worried about his production. So
he played 16 games, like 4 years of his career. I'm not too worried. Or 3, and then the one he missed was the last year with the Ravens. I think they were in the playoffs already.
Yeah, he's played 6 seasons and he's made Pro Bowl in 4 of them. Like, that's pretty damn impressive.
Oh, yeah, no, he's a stud. But, all right, well, my next guy, at number 9, he's the youngest guy on my list. He is also played the latest in the season compared to anyone else. He was in the Super Bowl. I think that he exploded on the scene immediately. I think that defensive line that he plays behind helped a lot. But I went with Fred Warner.
Okay. I had him at 9, and then I pushed him back, and ultimately he didn't make – he was like 11 or 12. Like he didn't
let me educate you on why you made a mistake.
Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Top 100.
First thing off, he was a top 100 player by rated guy. I forget when
that list is bullshit.
Yeah, relax there. But
I have it all on mute just to entertain myself if I need a good laugh.
But he's 23 years old, so if I'm picking a team to start with, he's near the top of the list. The guy's already excelling immediately. The jump from production from his first year to this year is also impressive. I know the team got a lot better, but just in almost every stat, his 2018, he had 1 forced fumble. This year he had 3. He had 6 pass defended. It was rookie year. Now he had 9 this past year. He had 3 sacks this past year and 0 his rookie year. 7 tackles for loss compared to 3 his rookie year, and then he had 5 quarterback hits opposed to 7 his rookie year. So he's developing more. He got more on the pass rushing side of it. I think he's solid in coverage. He had the interception in the Super Bowl in Mahomes where he made a nice play, just reading his eyes and jumping in front of Hill.
Yeah.
Again, obviously, he's a little lower at 9 for me because he had a great year last year. I expect him to have a good year again next year, and he's young, but he's still playing behind a stacked defensive line.
And a pretty solid secondary.
Yeah, Buckner and Armstead sometimes are huge. They can take up blockers themselves and run defense. And then coverage is probably pretty simple when Nick Bosa and that whole line's screaming off the edge coming for any quarterback they play against. So that's my only knock against him is he's probably playing behind the best defense line in football and maybe in front of a top 5 secondary as well.
That's always hard to evaluate. But I did kind of factor that in. I do like that combo of him and Quan Alexander though. I think they'll be a solid. Future.
I think he's taken over for Quan. I think he's the best linebacker on that team now.
Oh, I would agree. I actually really like.
He's calling the plays. He is the quarterback there for the defense corner, and for 23-year-old second year guy, that's impressive.
Yeah, I like Quan his last year in Tampa, but he had a down year this year. But
yeah, I like Warner a lot. Like I said, he's got the age. He's really young, and he's already picking it up really quickly, which is good to see. I'd be interested to see. Buckner left now, but the defense is still pretty solid.
Yeah,
but he's a playmaker they lost, so it'll be interesting to see how he adjusts. But I still expect him to be really good. I mean, he had a great year last year. The team went to the Super Bowl. You can't really knock him. He's the quarterback of that defense at a young age. It's a lot of pressure on him, but he's succeeding.
Fair enough. So my number 9 is got a fresh new contract for the new team, and he is the only undrafted player on my list. So I went with Corey Littleton.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like he wasn't even in my real top 10 to start with when I started making the list, and I was looking through stats and reading up on players, and he was really under the radar. I feel like he didn't miss a single tackle last year, and that's 134 combined tackles, and That's pretty impressive to me. I mean,
I will give you this. I also have him on my list. I won't say where, but I have him on the list. And again, before I thought about this, sat down, I didn't have him anywhere near my
he just kind of jumps out at you. I mean,
yeah, him and Sherbert were the same. Like I looked more into it. Sherbert, I even watched like his highlight tape from last year, and I liked what I was seeing. And they moved themselves in there where I really didn't even consider them before I looked at it.
And I mean, for a linebacker that doesn't rush the passer, he had 3.5 sacks, four fumble recoveries, 2 interceptions. Like, it's just all around really solid linebacker, and just another player that the Rams said, "See ya." Like, we're not going to pay. We're literally only going to pay Jalen Ramsey, and then that's going to be our entire team. So,
well, him and Aaron Donald. That's why. I mean, because we mentioned the Jamal Adams thing. I don't understand the whole trading 2 first-round picks away for players and then signing them to massive contracts.
And McDougal was like a solid safety too. Like,
yeah, but that
slouch.
McDougal had no use on the team. Once Adams came over, he wasn't starting anymore.
No, but I'm saying like for them to like say just like they had decent safeties already. Him and Demps like were a solid duo, but
yeah, but
Adams is the best safety in the league.
Yeah. I don't know, like. You give up so much, and like now he's the third guy that really, behind Ramsey and Mack that have gone through this 2 first-round picks and huge contract, and neither of those teams are really in great shape from it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
that's pretty much all I had. I'm sure, like you said, you'll talk about a little bit.
But it goes back to what you're saying. Think about who the Rams lost. They lost Littleton. They had to trade away Marcus Peters. These are guys they couldn't sign or even think about signing because you had to sign Ramsey. And that's a lot of talent you're losing for one guy.
There's a lot of money in, their quarterback too. So.
Well, yeah, but I think Littleton's really good. I sneaky think the Raiders might have a solid defense this year.
Oh, I think the Raiders have a sneaky good team overall. I think.
We'll see.
We'll see with Carr, but
I've never been sold on Carr.
Josh Jacobs is good. They have some really solid receivers and tight ends now.
The defense Max Crosby played well last year. I think Littleton's really good as well. You'll see on my list. And then I like Abraham, the guy the rookie last year that got hurt.
The safety?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's solid.
Yeah. So
he's a hitter.
All right.
I think the Raiders are lined up pretty well.
What do we got? Number 8?
Number 8, Patason.
All right, I got Jalen Smith.
Oh.
Okay.
I also had Jalen Smith at number 8.
Oh, look at that.
Interesting. Look at the guests paying attention to how to succeed. Just listen to what I put it.
The masterclass.
It's for free. I start charging for these things.
Oh, my God.
But go ahead, Patason.
Probably on the tag team duo, the best linebacker duo probably in the NFL. Sad to say.
Yeah, that hurts to say.
Would have been a top pick if he didn't get hurt. And what was that, the Fiesta Bowl?
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Yeah.
He got hurt. I think he was pretty much a steal for the Cowboys. I never thought he was even going to play NFL down. And he's actually been playing really good.
Yeah, they got him top of the second round, 34th overall. Yeah, he would have went top 10 easy if he didn't get hurt.
You ever know the Cowboys make those work? Like they pick up Smith after his legs.
I know.
And then La'el Collins gets questioned about a murder, and then he gets 7th round draft pick or undrafted free agent or whatever it was. And they just both worked out beautifully for the Cowboys.
Of course they did.
Of course, yeah.
Of course.
I gotta say, Pat, it looks like it's getting darker in the dungeon. I feel like we're co-starring in an episode of Paranormal Activity.
Part of the household.
Yeah, feel that. But yeah, I went with Jalen Smith too. Obviously, he was also a top 100 player, which I think was deserving. The guys really, the Cowboys got lucky because Sean Lee, before Jalen Smith or Van Der Esch, Sean Lee was always that guy.
They've always had at least one good linebacker.
Yeah, but Sean Lee could never stay healthy. The guy was constantly hurt, and then their defense would be great. Sean Lee gets hurt, and then the defense would fall off the cliff.
Oh, yeah, no.
Van Der Esch, obviously, they drafted the first round this year. I didn't have him on my list because I'm concerned about that neck injury. I don't like neck injuries or concussions in linebackers.
Yeah.
That's something that you can ignore. So the fact that they still have Jalen Smith, who's playing at a high level, he's a Pro Bowler this year, benefits them, especially because their other 2 linebackers are hurt. But, he had the 2.5 sacks, the interception, 6 tackles for loss. His numbers didn't blow me away.
Mm-hmm.
But considering, Van Der Esch wasn't there and Lee was healthy this year for once, but, you got to wonder him getting up there in age.
He's 100 years old.
Yeah, how many injuries that guy's had, how much do you have left in the tank? So I give credit to Smith for holding down defense, basically I think he took the leadership step this year, took it away from Sean Lee, and now the Van Der Esch is hurt. It's Smith's team almost.
Yeah. I actually, it hurts me to say this, but I had Smith a little higher.
Well, you've always been in love with the Cowboys, so that doesn't surprise me.
Don't ever say that again. Disgusting. Yeah, that's fair. I don't mind that pick. Number 8, I had this is where C.J. Mosley falls for me. A lot of what like Pat said is like my same thing. Like he was hurt last year, but I don't want to knock that on him, you know. But like his production's there, over 100 combined tackles most of his career. You know, the dude is a ball. Like I already said, 4 Pro Bowls in 6 years. Like that's incredible. And the can't even count the last year he didn't even play. So basically 4 Pro Bowls in 5 years, and he's still young. He's only 28. He just turned 28. So he's in his prime right now.
Yeah, but you know what? Look at how much when he comes back this year. Look at the difference in the Jets from when he signed.
Yeah,
I mean they fell, which was not a smart idea. Like running backs and linebackers, they always say they have no value. I think they have value, but on winning teams. When you're a bad team, there's no point in investing a lot of money in a running back and linebacker.
Yeah, they gave Mosley. I remember that was a big contract.
Yeah, him and Bell. Like they gave him a ton of money in positions they shouldn't have. You need to seal up like the offensive line, the defensive line, your secondary, a lot of other positions before you worry about linebacker and running back. But you know, this was before Joe Douglas got there and Adam Gase was calling the shots. And Adam Gase, I still think is. I don't know how he has a head coaching job in this league.
He's a clown. But yeah, I mean, I think I would, even without Adams, I see Mosley returning to form, at least closely resembling his. I mean, when he was with the Ravens, he was averaging per season 116 tackles, 7 QB hits, 2 sacks, forced fumble, 7 passes defended, 2 interceptions. Like his numbers are great. Like
he'll be
good. He'll be fine.
Like, when it comes to winning games, I don't think even if Bell and Mosley have great years, how many games does that actually win when the rest of the team is garbage?
Yeah. But yeah, that's my piece on Mosley. I think he's still a baller. So
that's fair. I mean, I surprisingly have him higher than everyone else. Then I guess.
I mean, I had him higher, and then like all these lists I saw had him so low, like out of the top 10, and I was like, that's disrespectful.
Yeah, you're just forgetting.
Dude's a monster.
Yeah, he's a stud.
But all right, Patason, what we got at number 7?
The number 7 player just announced he is not playing next year.
Oh,
see, I took him off the list. I was going to put him on the list, but I took him off when I saw that.
So I'm thinking maybe there might not be an NFL season at all next year. So he's a 3-tool player, deserves to be in the top 10. Can rush the passer, good at coveraging, and he's pretty decent sacking the quarterback. I think he's a 5-time Pro Bowler.
Nice. I agree. Like I said I had Roquan at the 11 or Dion Jones at the 11, but if Hightower was playing, he's easily in the top 10. I would have taken Schobert. I'd put him in the like 7 range maybe. Same thing as what I said about Devin McCourty. Like Hightower's been his whole career with Belichick. He's got 3 Super Bowl rings. He's the quarterback of that defense. Like he probably knows more about defense than defensive coordinators do. Just his spending a whole career with Belichick.
I would have had Hightower like a 10. But yeah, the whole I did move him off after hearing the news. The Patriots they're in trouble. They have 6 players who are not playing.
They're fine.
Bill
Belichick is fine. Hightower's staying. All right,
Sean and Hightower. That's big blow to the defense.
Chung sucks.
No, but he sucks on other teams. But on the Patriots, he's somehow a god.
Chung is very replaceable. Brandon Bolden is a backup running back who plays special teams. Marcus Cannon will stink.
They love their backup running backs. So.
Yeah, but I mean, Marcus Cannon stinks because you never want to lose a starting offensive lineman of any type. But I think Hightower and Cannon will sting. Chung and Bolden or whatever. I wouldn't be worried. But listen, Bill will be fine. I'm not worried about that.
Yeah, but I didn't have him on my list because of that reason. But yeah, he's been a product of that. He's like one of the reasons the Patriots. The defense is always so good, and definitely a play. I think it was Belichick, either Belichick or somebody else on that team said that they've never seen a player like step up their game in playoff time more than him. So.
He calls him. What was it, Mr. February?
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's got 3 Super Bowl rings, you know, and I mean, I guess he's been to 4 Super Bowls and then he's won 3. So, you know, whatever he's doing, I know. But he's like, him and McCourty are the stalwarts of that defense. The defense has been very good for a while. Belichick switches out people all the time. They go back and suck at other places, and then they come back, and then they're fine. But, like, those are the stalwarts. It's Hightower and McCourty every year. They're just, you know, when they're locked in, you just put other pieces around them and everything will be fine.
Yeah.
You can't – I mean, anyone that's playing quarterback for Belichick's defense for – I don't know how long he's been in the league, but I'd say at least 6 or 7, 8 years he's been playing. That's impressive.
Oh, yeah. He doesn't keep people around that long unless they're legit.
Especially when you're running whole defense.
Well, what's his name? Van Noy. I didn't even realize he went to the Dolphins.
I know
Again,
that.
another guy that just left and I'm sure will be, you know, whatever, and then come back.
I saw one list that had him at like 6, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, he's a solid player, but he is not a top 10 linebacker.
It's the Patriots effect. They just make
It must-
players look a lot better. You know who I saw on a lot of these lists too was like Jamie Collins really high.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't.
And I
get that
honestly,
either.
I think Jamie Collins is going to be just as bad on the Lions as he was on the Browns. He's going to another terrible team.
Yeah,
Without Belichick. Patricia is, even though he was the D coordinator for Belichick, he's clearly shown that he is nowhere near the coach Belichick is, and he hasn't learned much from New England besides taking their players.
Did Collins leave the Patriots, go to another team, then go back to Patriots, or was that a different Patriot linebacker?
Yeah, he did.
He went to the
Yeah.
Browns. Found
Okay.
all the money at the Browns and went back. It's just like, that's why you got to give Hightower more credit than I think your number 10 linebacker, you goon. Like he's stalwart. Belichick doesn't keep you that long if you're not someone that's integral to his.
I'm pretty sure they cut Hightower at one point and then brought him back in the middle of the season.
I don't know about that. That sounds made up.
Nah, I don't think so.
Who cuts
Maybe
a
that-
player and then picks him up in the middle of the season?
Maybe not in the middle of the season, but I think it might have happened.
But nonetheless, but you know. All right, where were we, Pat? You just did.
He did 7.
Okay. So number 7, I went with the guy we were just talking about, Corey Littleton.
Okay.
He actually was not near my top 10 until I looked more into him, and he's actually pretty impressive.
I didn't even write him down when I made this list like 4 days ago.
I didn't even know
Yeah, I don't know if I really.
I mean, I knew who he was, but I thought he was still in the Rams, and I thought he was younger.
Yeah, I mean, the guy's 26. The first 2 years, he was kind of a special teams player.
Yeah.
But out of the 4 years, he hasn't missed a single game. He's played 16 games every single year of his career. 2018, he was a Pro Bowler when they went to the Super Bowl last year. But he's just, when it comes to pass coverage, I think he's easily one of the best linebackers in pass coverage by far.
Yeah, he's
You constantly see them put him on like tight ends and running backs all the time. He's had, the last 2 years. So in 2018, he had 13 passes defended. This year he had 9. That's more than any other linebacker in the last 2 years, and that's more in the last 2 years than Byron Jones. So that's that's the highest paid corner in the NFL history or whatever. That's pretty impressive. The guy, he's stud. Let me see, what was it? He's 7.5 sacks the last 2 years. He's got 5 interceptions the last 2 years. If you consider the first 2 years he was a special teamer, these are the only 2 years that he's been starting as an actual linebacker. His total tackles are 134 this year, and then the year before that was 125.
Yeah.
He's all over the place. He just stuffs the stats, whether it's interceptions, tackles, sacks. And I think he's great in coverage. So I like what the Raiders did. Obviously, we mentioned that. They also picked up the guy from the Bears who played a lot when Roquan and them were hurt, when Kwiatkowski. So I think it's actually a great move because Kwiatkowski plays the run really well, and Littleton's great in coverage, especially where the league's going now, especially considering the Chiefs are in your division. Someone's going to have to cover Kelsey.
Yeah, I think the Raiders are going to be kind of exciting to watch this year. If
We'll see.
the
I
season
still have
happens.
zero faith in Derek Carr. Zero faith.
I like that tight end. Woodford.
Waller.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, we'll see. I'm worried about offense. I think defense, they're getting pretty solid. I like those 2 linebacker pickups they had. Littleton's really – it was someone that opened my eyes when I looked more into it, but the guy is really good. And I always knew him as, he was always just a coverage guy. I always see him in man coverage on running backs and tight ends whenever I watch the Rams game. But then you look into, he's got a couple sacks. He plays, pass defense. He's got a ton of tackles every year. Plus the interceptions. The guy just – stuffs the stat sheet, and for that alone, I think he's really going to excel in Oakland. Really,
Yeah, I like all the points he made. I think he's still kind of nobody really talks about him, but
he was. Well, if you think about it, he's only been in the league for 4 years, but half of those years he was a special teams guy.
Yeah.
So he's still getting to know him and Fred Warner realistically have played the same amount of years as a starting linebacker.
Yeah.
They're both Yeah, but he's still getting his name out there. I think he's really going to get a chance on the Raiders too. Because the other thing is he plays on the same defense as Darren Donald, and like everyone just trips, they just trip over themselves to talk about how great Darren Donald is.
Fair enough.
So I like him. I think he's pretty. I think he's still getting better too. That's why I put him over. Like I moved him up a couple spots, but I put him over Jalen Smith mainly because of that. Because I have more confidence Corey Littleton expanding his game with more of a presence than I do with kind of the guys I put him over.
Fair enough. So my number 7 is a guy that I don't know if he really is top 10 to other people, but to me, I think he shows.
Whoever you're fanboying right now is gonna be someone we don't even think about him.
I am fanboying a little bit because I watched him in college.
It's got to be a Clemson or Virginia Tech guy.
Is in his second year, he already made Pro Bowl, and the dude he's for as tall as he is at 6'5", 250 pounds. Dude, like runs all over the field. He's super fast, great in coverage, great tackler. I wanted Tremaine Edmonds at number 7.
Oh,
for the Bills.
Okay, I'm okay with that. I like that. He was one of the guys I was thinking about. I love where he's at. I think really, man, that Bills defense is gonna be good. I think McDermott's got all the pieces he wants from when. It reminds me of the Panthers defense almost.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's really building it pretty well. The secondary's strong. Edmonds is getting better. He's young. I still think he's inconsistent with some stuff.
Yeah, I mean he's 22. He just turned 22.
I know.
Like, that's what's exciting. I think to me is
if Fred Warner didn't go to the Super Bowl and have that interception on Mahomes, I probably would have put Edmonds ahead of him. Mm-hmm. But I couldn't because they're both young guys. I think they're going to get really good. I like him a lot.
I just think that for his he's almost like a safety playing linebacker, but like he's got the build for a linebacker too. Like he's like 250 pounds and he's tall, but like I said, he's rangy. And he can rush, he can cover, he can blitz if he has to. Yeah, that's what's crazy. Is like how tall he is and how fast he is. But I like my Virginia Tech guys. So I was glad to see he went to a good team that has a defense that fits him, and I know McDermott's going to use him well. And him and they have another linebacker that kind of had a good year this year. Is he a white guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think they're going to fill out nicely, and obviously their secondary is good and their line is solid. So yeah, I like his setup, and I think he's going to have I think this year he'll really break out and have a great year.
I would agree with you there. I really wanted to put him on this list, but I didn't have him on at first, and then I had Roquan Smith on, and just based on last year, I was like, Edmonds made their Pro Bowl, had better stats. I like his trajectory. And the fact that, he didn't suffer from, the team's woes, so to speak. So yeah, no, I mean, I don't think he's top 10 right now. I think he's still got some inconsistencies that he will get past. I like McDermott a lot. Yeah. I like McDermott a lot. I really think he's going to turn him into a really good player. I'm not worried about that. I think he's going to get. If we did this list next year, he's someone I wouldn't be surprised if popped up in like the top 5.
Yeah.
He's good, but I mean. He's getting more of a name. I put Schobert at 10 just to jump in, but I think Schobert gets overlooked because he played for Cleveland when they were really bad, and now he's going to the Jaguars, who are going to be really bad.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of stinks him a little bit, but I felt like he was a better player than Edmonds is right now, and I like his future still. Even though I might like Edmonds a little more, I like where Schobert is now. That was really the decision, because I was going to put Edmonds at 10. It was him, Dion Jones, and Schobert that were in my discussion at the end.
Interesting. And I said I have the top 100 on mute, but I think I just saw. Oh yeah, there he is. Your boy just ranked in the top 40, Mr. Honey Badger.
Tyron.
Oh, did anyone notice that Marcus Peters was what?
Oh my God.
No. And I'm gonna toot my own horn.
Okay.
But,
okay.
Just
yeah, I never said he didn't have a good year. I just don't think he's.
Oh, and the other thing is, well, they already did Odell Beckham. So if Kenny Galladay pops onto this list, because those are the two things I get the most heat on, is that having Galladay over Odell and having Marcus Peters.
Well, they said there's like 17 receivers on this list. So.
Well, I saw Odell already, so Kenny Galladay better make that list, and I'm going to look really smart when me and all the NFL players agree.
Okay. Moving on. Patason, what you got at 6?
Six, I have the other Cowboy.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Draft.
So when I think I texted Tim and I was like, "Are we gonna have two Cowboys on this list?" And then I went through and I was like, Van Der Esch is not at that level yet. For me, at least, I didn't put him in my top 10.
See, that was kind of what you did, but you asked me, I was like, God, I love the Cowboys so much. I can't believe I can only put two linebackers on this list.
Yeah, I thought he made the Pro
Yeah,
Bowl.
as I drink out of my Eagles cup, yeah, please tell me how much I like the Cowboys.
Just saying. But go ahead, Patason.
Made the Pro Bowl. I thought didn't he get hurt last year, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Thinking he'll live up to the hype next year.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's still going to be like. I still think there are arguably one of the best tandems, if not top three, for linebackers. And
Yeah.
I just think either he came back too soon or he just was trying to get his footing still. But his when he came back, he didn't have a great year last year.
No, that's what worries me is that neck injury is literally the reason he didn't make my top 10 because
Yeah.
he had a neck injury in high school or college. I forget what it said, but it was a serious neck injury he had then, and now it pops up again. At linebacker, I don't like concussions or neck injuries there. So
that's why he's got the neck collar for a reason, I guess.
Yeah, I would need to see him play a full healthy season before I would put him back up there.
He definitely has the potential, though, for sure.
Yeah, but even you said when he came back, he didn't look great. Like that's a tough injury to play as a linebacker when you're constantly jamming your neck and your head and everything.
Yeah, but I mean, if he, bearing the injury, I think he still has the physical skills that you would look for in that kind of position. But
yeah, fair enough. I mean, if I was thinking of a linebacker, I would get him from Idaho, just living with wolves.
Is that where he's from?
Yeah, Idaho, man.
Oh.
Yeah.
Land of potatoes.
Land of potatoes. And hose.
This is a family show. Relax there, guy.
No, like hose, like garden hose to rake the potatoes.
Okay.
Right? Isn't that what they use?
Yeah. Way to save yourself there, Paul.
What do you got at 6 there, scum?
All right, let me see. Where was I? So 6 was another guy that's already been on all three of our lists. I gave him a little more love because I liked him, I think, a little bit more than maybe you guys did before he got hurt.
Mosley.
But, yeah, I went with Mosley. Obviously, he's a 4-time Pro Bowler. The injury really doesn't bother me that much. Like, it's a groin injury. It's not, like, something that I don't think is going to, hamper him going forward. Plus, he was healthy before. Like I said, he's played, I think, 4 seasons or 16 games, 4 years in his career. The only years that he didn't play 16 were last year and then 2016 where he made the Pro Bowl, but he didn't play 14 games. But he's been consistent. He's always over 100 tackles. He was the leader of that Baltimore Ravens defense. I would expect him to take that leadership role, especially with Adams gone on the Jets. It's something I like a lot. He puts up a couple interceptions. He's a solid guy. I'm interested to see what his numbers look like with the Jets. Either he's just going to make every tackle because no one else on that team can, or he's going to really struggle when he realizes there's just garbage all around him.
Yeah, I miss the days where the Jets had a really good defense and actually gave the Patriots trouble now and again. Now it's just
trouble is a strong word. But seeing as I am a man of highlights, I have another one for you.
Oh,
and you'd say, wow, he only played 1 week. How could you possibly have a highlight? Don't worry, I got a highlight.
I was going to say, you're going to pull the top 100 and show highlights from 5 years ago?
No, not this time. Not this time.
Oh, okay.
Hold on. So this was week 1. This was, I think, the only game CJ Mosley, or I think he played the next week, but he got hurt in the game. The only game he played against Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll take a seat. Just watch him making plays here. Just patrolling. Wait for it. Boom, boop. And then brings it right back. Not the best play. He kind of got lucky that the ball just popped right into his hands.
Pat and I could have taken that back.
I know.
I don't know about that. I don't even know if you could have caught it first off.
God.
But, I mean, that's just a little – I expected him to make plays. That was obviously the only game he played. So, he still had to pick 6, which is impressive in playing only 1 game. But, I like his leadership. He's got a nose for the football. He seems to always be around the football, especially when he's on the Ravens. I didn't think the Ravens had some good defense, but I don't think they were stacked. I think he was easily the best player on that defense then. And,
Well, when he was playing at his peak, they weren't where they are now. Like they were.
Oh,
decent.
no, yeah.
They weren't.
Yeah.
They weren't by any standard what they are. They
No,
didn't
yeah,
have a secondary when he was playing with the Ravens. So
No, Humphrey was still young, or he probably actually I don't even think he was on the team.
yeah, I don't think he was.
Yeah, but no, I think he's solid. He is the problem with him. He was more of a because I was really debating on putting Littleton ahead of him,
Mm-hmm.
but I was like, you know what? It was kind of like the Trent Williams thing, where if he plays, he's like easily a top 3 or 5 linebacker or offensive lineman.
Yeah.
So I gave him the respect, put him at 6, but that's just going off new. Like Littleton could easily take. I'd feel comfortable switching either of them, mostly because Littleton played last year. But
Yeah, I would say the 6 to 10 is very flexible, and it's a lot of like potential. But
yeah, and I would assume that we all have the same top 5, just in different orders.
it sounds like it's going to be that way. So
That might be the first time that we've ever done that.
yeah, no, I think edge rushers we had pretty similar top 5.
I think it's just impressive that you're starting to listen after 9 episodes. You're finally starting to gain my wisdom. Pat picked it up pretty quickly. It took 9 episodes.
Don't let him fool you, Pat.
Yeah.
So my number 6 was the other Cowboy. This is where I have Jalen Smith. It hurts me. It really hurts me to put him at 6 because, I'm an Eagles fan. But you just look at his numbers. Like he's made such great progress every year. Like combined tackles, he goes from 81 this rookie year to 121 to 142 last year. Then solos went from 50 to 70 to 80. Passes deflected 2 to 4 to 9. Like he's getting better. Like, and that was with last year was his best year. Made the Pro Bowl, and that was without Van Der Esch. Like he had an old Sean Lee backing him up, basically. So we'll see how. I mean, the Cowboys defense is going to look a little different. Their secondary is basically all new players. Marcus Lawrence is still pretty good. Their line is fine. It's really going to come down to Jalen Smith and Van Der Esch to help that defense kind of go through the season. But as much as it pains me to say, they really hit on him in the second round. Lucky he slid down to them, but it's scary how his progress has been to look at. I mean, 142 combined tackles is insane for one season, and he only missed 7% of those tackles. So I think it was like 10 tackles.
Look at you getting the advanced stats. I'm proud of you.
Oh yeah. I come.
No, I think he's. I still think he's getting better as well. He's like I said with Littleton, having more of an opportunity to shine. I think he's gonna, depending on Van Der Esch, if he's still getting injury concerns, but Lee's definitely fading away. I think he's gonna have more of a chance to shine as the main linebacker there.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I feel like his build is like the linebacker build you look for, like between 6'2", 6'3", 250 pounds. Like it's enough height to get jumps on the balls and to read, see over the line, and then also enough strength and power to, make the tackles when you need to. So,
I mean, if the Cowboys want to do anything next year, he better play really well because that secondary is not good. And unless Alden Smith suddenly brings back his prime form from 6 years ago, or Randy Gregory figures out how not to get suspended, I don't see a pass rush to form much else.
Randy Gregory's still on that team?
I don't know if he's suspended right now, but I believe he's still on the team. This is the problem with the Cowboys is they have no secondary, and you think, maybe the pass rush is really good so they can get away with it. Besides DeMarcus Lawrence, you have Randy Gregory, who is always suspended, Alden Smith, who honestly
always suspended.
Always suspended. But at least Randy Gregory's played NFL football in the last 4 years.
I mean, the Cowboys would probably have the best all suspension team.
Yeah,
so.
It's true. I mean, it's really going to come down to linebackers. They need Van Der Esch to be healthy and play the whole year, and they need Jalen Smith to continue to see because that defense is in trouble. I think their linebackers are good. Obviously, we all agreed that Jalen Smith was good, and Van Der Esch is good too as long as he's healthy. But outside of those, that said, they really don't have much of a pass rush. I don't think Marcus Lawrence is going to make up for the fact that there's no one else on this team that can rush the passer.
True.
But we'll see. That's Cowboys' problem.
I don't want to go too much into a Cowboy, but yeah, I think Jalen Smith is. I think both of them have the potential to remain top 10 top 10 linebackers for a while. I mean, they're both super young. Like Smith's 25, so.
Yeah. No. I mean, yeah.
I also didn't know he went to Notre Dame. I didn't know that's where he went to school.
How did you not know that?
I thought he was like one of those like Alabama LSU guys for some reason. I forgot he went to Notre Dame.
Yeah. Well,
That was probably on that team that was like wrecking shit that one year. I remember. Well, let's see. He was drafted in 2017. So yeah, because that was the year. I think that 2016 season was when
Did they go to the
Temple played Notre Dame that year. I think on
it was beat them.
on Halloween. Yeah.
Yeah. It was actually a good game too.
I remember exactly where I was when I was watching that game. I don't know
Florida,
why.
weren't you?
I was at work, working at Duffy's Sports Bar, watching TV.
Were you watching the Temple game?
That's why I knew where I was. Yeah, because I was watching that game.
Oh wow. Let's see how the stars line up.
All right, so what are we in now? Top 5?
Top 5, baby.
This is where I'm interested now because I figured we'd all have the same top 5. Now I'm curious about the order.
Yeah, Pat. Let's start it off by making it interesting.
I'll start off with Bernardric Mckenney.
Oh wow!
What? Okay, so we don't have the same top 5.
Who are you missing from your top 5 here, guy?
Oh no!
Okay. All right. No,
all right. Go ahead, Pat. Let's hear this. Yeah.
All right, him and his counterman was it Zach Williams or something?
Cunningham.
Cunningham. They finished top 10 in run defense. The only tag team duo to do that. He only missed 6.1% of his tackles last year.
I did see that. I saw that stat. He's not a bad pick. I didn't have him in top 5. But,
last year, boys.
huh?
Is that the Titans?
He did make the Pro Bowl last year. No, Texans.
Oh, Texans. Yeah.
Did he? I didn't know he made the Pro Bowl.
Did you really?
Yep.
Huh.
Maybe
Look
I
at Pat
didn't.
dropping knowledge.
Yeah, seriously.
Pat comes to play. Interesting. I didn't even really look at him, to be honest, for my top 10.
He was. I mean, he's a solid. He's a solid guy. He's young too. He's actually, he's been in the league longer than I thought. He's been in the league 5 years. He was a Pro Bowler in 2018, not last year.
Year before.
But I mean, he's back-to-back seasons with 100 sacks or 100 tackles. I liked him. I mean, I knew he didn't miss much tackles. That's when I originally saw him. Is like he had a great missed tackles percentage. I still feel very much more confident in my top 5 over that guy. But
Very much more confident.
very much more. Listen, I teach football, not grammar.
Clearly.
But I mean, he's solid. I like him. I don't know about top 5, but Pat's the biggest fan of the guy.
Yeah.
Respect.
Shout out to, I don't think McKinney has ever been rated this high than anyone. You gotta add him on the next videos and let him know that his biggest fan lives up in PA.
All right.
It's interesting. I mean, I like it. It adds a little spice to it, you know.
That's true. Definitely caught me off guard.
Yeah, I was super prepared to say, Pat, I agree with you. I had that guy at number 5, and then throws us a fucking wild card. But he defended it well. I feel like he's definitely. How old is he? He's young still, isn't he?
27.
Oh, he's in his prime. Yeah.
5 years in the league. Yeah, I know him and Cunningham were pretty good. Cunningham should have been an Eagle.
See, the Texans always have like sneaky good players on defense, but they can never like put it together enough to be like playoff threats. I don't know. They're a weird team.
Weird team, yeah. I admit that. I mean, they've won the division, I think, last.
That's what I'm saying. Like they've always had like decent players and good good end results, but they just can't never put it together in the playoffs. But all right. If Pat has his piece on that, Tim, who do you have at number 5?
Number 5, I want for the guy. He's older guy. I don't know if he's the oldest guy on my list, but he is a little older. All Pro last year.
Mm-hmm.
He was actually Pro Football Focus's number 1 rated linebacker. He was the
I think we have the same one. Okay, keep going.
4th linebacker in coverage for PFF.
Okay.
He tied second with 57 defensive stops and pass defended, or he was tied for first for passes defended by a linebacker last year with 12.
Mm-hmm.
Basically all over the place, just had a great year. He's the leader of that defense. I went with Demario Davis.
Oh, I also went with Demario Davis.
Guy, he had 4 sacks, 111 tackles. He had a pick, 9 QB hits, 11 tackles for loss, this is actually back-to-back years with 11 tackles lost, which is impressive. He's got, interesting numbers because if you think the last 3 years, he's had 4 sacks last year, 5 before that, and then 5 before that. That's 14 sacks in the last 3 years, which is impressive for, an off-ball linebacker like that.
Yeah.
He never misses time. He's played 16 games out of the 6 of his 8 years in the NFL. The one year he played 15. The guy, he's consistent. He's a stud. He was never this good. He's become very good, which is why I was fine with putting him in top 5 because, as we know, my 3 pillars last year, next year, and if I start my team, I got to name drop it for everyone, Gazelle. But
does the 3 pillars have like an official name now for you to trademark, or is it just the 3 pillars?
Not
You
yet.
gonna make t-shirts?
It's free for use for right now, but
Free for use.
Yeah, I was just waiting until the merchandise starts, but yeah, that's why I like him. He obviously really came out of nowhere until he started dominating with the Saints. He wasn't. I think he played for the Jets early in his career and didn't do too much. He was a name I knew about, but it wasn't great. He's gotten better in his older age. He's more of a leader. I think he's gotten more vocal. He's great for that team. I mean,
oh yeah,
him and he reminds me of Jenkins with his like leadership. He's very, very vocal, but he's like that number one guy. He puts the blame on him. He takes credit.
I thought the top 100 that when they talked about him was probably one of the best player pieces because I forget who it was, but they were like literally hitting on all the nails of why I think he's also a top 5. Or yeah, I had him at 5, so I think he was hitting on all the nails. He was saying how like nobody talks about him because he does all the dirty work. Essentially, he's asked to play coverage. He's asked to rush. He's asked to stop the run. He's asked to take out the tight ends. And so he's a solid tackler too. And like you said, he finally made an All-Pro, which is weird that he made All-Pro and not Pro Bowl, but
yeah, that happens. But yeah, the last 3 years, the 2 with New Orleans and then his last year with the Jets, he was very solid. He's 11, 11, 13 for tackles for loss, over 100 tackles every year. The one year he had 135 and led the league with 97 solos. I already told about his sacks, the 4.55. The numbers are there, and he does this dirty work. 12 pass defender, that kind of came out of nowhere because that like more than doubled.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's tied the league with or was the number one tied with another guy that will come up later for linebackers, but. Really is bald. He's like he hit his 28-year season and just excelled immediately. So I like him, even though he's older. I like him going forward too, because I mean, if anything, he's just getting better. Like this was easily the best season he's had in his career.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't like a slouch either on the Jets when he was playing.
I mean, the last year with the Jets, that was when he started his ascent. I think the last 3 years was him being a top-notch linebacker. Before that, he was very average.
I mean, 2014, he had 3.5 sacks, 116 tackles. That's pretty solid.
No, I mean,
5 passes defended. But yeah, and then he went to Cleveland for a year, then came back to the Jets for a year, and now he's been with New Orleans for the past 2 seasons. But yeah, I think 4 sacks too for being an off-ball linebacker too. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean,
he actually has a lot of sacks. He has 22 career sacks.
Yeah, because he had 5 2 years ago and the year before that. That's when it really started kicking up. And
yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's like the all-around package, which him and another guy I have are like very similar build.
I mean, he just like he's very multifaceted in his game. Like you look at the last 3 years, he had double-digit tackles and loss, and then the sack numbers, which I mentioned, clearly shows he can get to the pocket and get to the quarterback and get in the backfield and make plays.
He was highest PFF, right? 90.3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then this year he has the 12 pass defender, which is by far more than anything else he's ever had. He's just adding another element to his game. He's really good. He's a great leader. He's good on that team. He's provided the leadership on the defense. I think he's solid. I mean, I know you had him at 5 as well. I don't know if you have anything else to touch on, but that was kind of what I had.
No, yeah, I think you hit all the spots. I mean, like I said, he's that typical like 6'2", 6'3", build, 250-pound linebacker. Only guy I think on my list that was taken in the 3rd round, which honestly, it's not really any surprises, but like this is like I've started to notice with our list, like for as much bullshit, like much shit as we give for like 1st round busts and stuff, like almost all the players in our top 10 are 2nd or 1st round picks, I feel like. And this list especially was a lot of 2nd round linebackers. So I feel like that's the sweet spot. So any, NFL execs listening to us right now, 2nd round is where you need to be looking for your linebackers.
Yeah, let's look at us educating NFL execs that 1st and 2nd round is very important. They didn't know that before.
For linebackers.
Yeah, that's it.
Which are always taken late in the 1st or mid-2nd. So.
Plus, he's got the coolest sleeve in NFL history. I love that golden black.
Oh, the like New Orleans sleeve.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fabric's called, or design, but it looks sweet.
Yeah, it looked pretty dope. I think he had a headband to match it too. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But all right, yeah, that's my piece on Demario Davis, number 5. Patason, who you got it for? Another blockbuster announcement?
I might. I got Lavonte David.
Oh, I also have. Oh, okay.
Sweep.
I have Lavonte David at 4 too.
This isn't as much fun when we agree. I like yelling at you over your opinions.
Oh, I said we.
Pat's going lead off. What do we got?
All right, I got that. He's had the most tackles at his position since he came in the NFL.
Yeah, I forget I think I wrote it. 724. That's insane.
720 something.
Insane.
He has also the most fumble recoveries of any active player since he got in the league.
Oh,
21? Damn.
Sure, yeah. I saw it on something else. I stole it from someone else.
And 45 passes defended, yes.
Yeah, I felt that was a stat I stole from someone else, but I saw. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Although I think fumble recoveries are the stupidest stat ever.
That's usually like luck for being in the right place.
Yeah, of course it's luck, yeah. That's one thing. If I was in the NFL, I feel like I could recover a fumble. I can't do literally anything else, but I could jump on a football.
Well, I mean, he has 14 fumble recoveries, but he has 21 forced fumbles. So
that's
But yeah, like 1,000 combined tackles in his career, like Pat said, 274 solo tackles. Like that's insane.
Yeah, the guy's productive. He's been very productive.
52 QB hits.
I mean, well, yeah, that was the defense has been they've had a terrible defense.
Be getting better.
I didn't know that he was on the Bucs his entire he played on the Bucs when they had their old uniforms, and then he played on them when they had their new ones, and now they're back to the old ones again. So it's like he never left this entire time.
Yeah, he was drafted by them.
Yeah, well, I knew that, but I thought he left at some point. I didn't realize since 2012 he's been a Buck. Like that's crazy. You don't see that, especially linebackers, unless you're like an elite linebacker. You don't see that kind of players that stay with teams that long. But
I mean, well, funny you say that.
Although
I have another player in the top 5 that was also from that draft class and has also played for their one team their entire career. So
I think I know what you're talking about, and I would hope you have him in your top 10.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, his numbers early in his career, his numbers were pretty crazy. I mean, he was an All-Pro in 2013, but combined tackles, 139 is rookie season, then 145, 146, 147, that's madness.
Yeah, he's
also over 100 solo tackles most of his seasons too. What the fuck?
Yeah, no, I mean the guy's good. He's definitely a stud. I mean the Buccaneers had some bad years while he was there. For defensively, their defense has not always been the best. This year they made a significant jump. I even believe they had the number 1 rush defense this year. And that he definitely plays. He's the leader of that defense. Obviously, they got some more talent around him, so they've made it. They've been able to turn the page, but he's always been consistent. They just had really no one else around him. But generous guy again. I have another highlight for you because that's what I do.
Yeah, I was gonna say the 4 or 5. I knew it was gonna be those 2 players, and then it was just determining which one I thought was slightly better. But you could have either or 5 or 4 with Demario Davis.
Well, I mean, honestly, my top 5 I could put in any order. So. Besides number 1. All right, so this is a boy, Lavonte David. He's right here. He's hanging out, just doing his thing. So this is against the Titans. So you'll notice a couple things that there's a superstar running back here. So just take a look at my boy here. He's going to ruin someone's day. So look at this. Play recognition, doesn't bite on the fake, and then just drills Tannehill. But hold on, wait a minute. Who was this offensive tackle that he just ran right through? Someone that I believe was on all 3 of our top 10s when we did offensive tackles. He didn't even stand a chance. He just bounced right off him.
Yeah.
And just went – Tannehill didn't know what was coming. He doesn't bite on the Derrick Henry handoff, which is, enough said, and then just zooms past one offensive tackle.
That was a hit.
Tannehill regretted holding onto that ball immediately. There was no debating. He sprinted. He just doesn't fall for the fake handoff, sprints around, goes past a stud left tackle, one of the best in football, and just drills Tannehill.
Yeah.
Guy's good.
Yeah,
he recognized the play, and he moves fast. He's still got his speed to him. He definitely hasn't lost that speed.
Yeah, it's weird how this age of linebackers is a lot more speed-driven, whereas, we used to have, the Briggs and the Urlacher and the Ray Lewis, where it was, power linebackers.
Well, the NFL's changed.
Oh yeah, well it's a passing game now, not as much
I mean,
running
going
down
on
your
that
throats,
too,
but
he was the number 1 rated coverage linebacker by PFF, and he was the number 3 linebacker in general overall for PFF. So, also more good stats. The guy's good. He's been good his whole entire career. I would assume that he's on his way to Canton. I don't actually. I don't know if
I don't know how many one-time Pro Bowl or one-time All Pros are can't.
You're right. Yeah, you are right about that. He is missing that. He's also been really underrated his whole career. So
I would agree. Yeah, I think
so. He won't make Canton because he doesn't have the Pro Bowls and All Pros. But the guy's missed that. You know what the problem with him is though? Is that he's been in the league, and I believe all 3 of them came in the draft at the same exact time as Kuechly, who just retired, and then someone that's more than likely going to be all 3 of our number 1s. So, you can't kill the guy. He's been behind 2 of arguably the greatest linebackers of our generation.
Where would Kuechly have been on your guys' list? I probably would have had him at number 1.
2.
1 or 2. I mean, it's
1
between him and the other guy.
Yeah.
I'd probably put him at number 1 though, because I like Kuechly.
I love Kuechly. Yeah.
But again, this is what Van Der Esch with the neck comes back to it. Concussions and neck injuries are not good on linebackers.
No,
if they can stop the GOAT, well, not the GOAT, but a guy who's been the best linebacker in the last 10 years or so.
Yeah,
they can stop anyone. So, but I mean, it is a shame that David has been underrated his whole career, but I think it hurts that he's played behind. He's been in the same draft class the same years as those other 2 guys that are really holding it back because those 2 are going to Canton easily. Him.
I don't know if I would say Demario Davis is easily going to Canton.
No, not Davis. I meant Kuechly and then.
Okay.
Because they were all 2012 draft picks, I believe. I'm not sure about Kuechly, but I know the other one.
Was Kuechly? Let me see. I don't think Kuechly was that year, was he? Has he really been? No, because he only played like 8 years, I feel like, or 7 years.
Well, we're in 2020, so if he was drafted in 2012, that would be 8 years.
I always forget how. I didn't even realize it was Tuesday today.
I know. Days and numbers are your tough starts. You're really good at the alphabet, though. Just days and numbers are your tough spots.
Funny you say alphabet because I was struggling trying to spell Kuechly for a while there.
But yeah, Kuechly's
2012. Yeah. Wow, he was picked 9. Yeah, I thought he went a little higher than that.
So, I mean, I think that's wrong with Levante David. He would be in the same conversation with Kuechly and, the Seahawks guy if they all didn't come in the league at the same exact time. They all can't be all pros and Pro Bowlers. Unfortunately, Lavonte David's been the odd guy out, and I think mostly it's because if you're looking at team success between those 3 teams, the Buccaneers have easily been the worst.
Yeah. Kuechly's awards are take up my entire screen. Look at, you can see. It's always.
That's why Lavonte David
Pro Bowl, first team, second team, player of the year, Art Rooney Award, Buckus Award,
Well, I mean, you got all that. Lavonte David can't win anything because Kuechly's winning it all.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, then if you think about our number 1 guy from the Seahawks, he's winning everything too. You look at his awards; they're just as much. David got screwed over by the fact that he entered the league at the same time as those 2.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't help. But all right, what are we rolling with for number 3? Let's see if we have any more consensus picks here.
All right, go ahead, Pat.
I have a guy who had a breakout year last year. Eric Kendricks.
I also had Eric Kendricks.
Damn it!
Yeah.
All agree. I also have Eric Kendricks.
Nice. I was a big. I don't know if Tim knew this, but I was a big fan of his brother Michael, who used to play for the Eagles.
You're the only one. The only one.
I saw something in him that I don't know why I saw. I just thought he had the potential, out of Cal, 2nd-round pick, but he just couldn't put it together.
I wish I had his brother instead.
Yeah, I wish I had Eric too. But Pat, let us know about Mr. Eric Kendricks.
Well, they graded him at 90% PFE.
Yeah.
I was very shocked to see that. I didn't realize. I always thought he was a decent player. And hopefully it's not a fluke and he can keep it up.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely, like you said, he had his breakout year this year. And, that's not, saying his breakout year, but, he's been good since he entered the league, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, he's had almost, besides his rookie year, he's had over 100 combined tackles every year.
Yeah, he's been solid. And, I mean, you mentioned the 100 tackles every year, but, he was also – I mentioned who was it? I think it was Demario Davis. Yeah, Demario Davis and him tied for most passes defended at 12 last year for linebackers. He was the number 3 linebacker in coverage for PFF. He's a great coverage linebacker.
Oh, yeah.
He had
another speed guy.
Yeah, can't kill him. He's the only thing is, like, I'd like to see him branch out a little bit more, but I guess, like, that defense is so good that he really doesn't get asked to do too much. I feel like he is primarily a coverage guy, but he does it really well.
I think last year, a lot of those players didn't play up to their expectations on defense besides him.
Oh, for the Vikings, for sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he since he came into the league, he ranks 5th in combined tackles, 2nd in passes defended of all linebackers. And, like, you know, he's basically the anchor for that Vikings defense. So,
yeah.
Him and Harrison Smith are, the reason they're playoffs every year.
Yeah. I mean, he was an all-pro this year. That's something. Give him all-pro and Pro Bowl.
Yeah, all-pro at, how old is he? Like 26 probably?
No, I think he's older than that. I think he came in the league fairly old.
Oh, he's 28 now.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean.
He's 23 his rookie season.
Yeah. But even still, like, this is – if he's at his prime now, so he's got, at least 4 more years of this level of play.
Oh, I mean, that defense will still be fine. Hunter's still there. Harris Smith's there. Anthony Harris, another guy that emerged last year. It was pretty solid as well. I think they'll be okay. Zimmer's a good coach. Zimmer's really smart on the defensive end. He's also the the quarterback of that defense. Like, he makes the calls. Mm-hmm. And, I would give credit to those guys. Like I mentioned with Hightower, when you have really good coaches like that, they're able to be like their coach on the field for them.
Yeah.
They go hand in hand.
Fair enough. Yeah, I like what I see out of him. He's only going to keep getting better. So, and him and Anthony Barr is a good combo too.
Yeah, Barr's a little inconsistent, but
but I mean, it's a good tandem. I think they complement each other. So.
Yeah, Kendrick's really good. And I believe he was a top 100 player as well.
How about that?
Look at that. The players are respecting him.
So are we going to have the same number 2 and same number 1? Is that what's happening here?
I think that's what's going to happen.
Okay.
I'd be really disappointed if our top 4 are all the same.
Pat, what do we have?
No, I don't know. Pat's missing someone because
I think he's missing Demario Davis.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
All right, fair enough. Yeah. Got McKinney instead. Although I'll give him a say, you opened up my eyes to him. You opened my eyes up to him a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to get in touch with him, DM him or something, because I don't think he's ever had anyone rate him this high in anything before. So
have him send you a jersey or something.
Yeah, be like, listen, I'm the unofficial president of your fan club.
Mm-hmm. So. All right, so we got Leonard too.
I do have Leonard too.
I do have Leonard too. Yep.
Leonard is Leonard's a so I'll say I'll let you guys get into it more, but the one thing that really blew me away, guy that's been in the league for 2 years, last year he had 5 interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
That is 1 less than the leaders, and the leaders being Gilmore, White, and Anthony Harris.
Not linebackers.
Yeah, and then he had 7 in 2 years, so he had 2 of his rookie year. Those 7 interceptions the last 2 years are more than Patrick Peterson, Marlon Humphrey, Richard Sherman, just to name a few. You might have heard those names before because they were top 10 cornerbacks on our list. The guy is a baller. He was obviously, all pro his rookie year. Didn't make the Pro Bowler, which is so stupid. You should just automatically be a Pro Bowler if you're an all pro.
Yeah, I know.
But he's so good. I'll let Pat get more into why he put him there.
Yeah, well, he was rookie of the year, I think, defensive rookie of the year.
Yeah, he was also defensive.
2018, 163 combined, 163 tackles. Like that's
what's more insane? That he led the league in, or 111 solo tackles, which he also led the league in?
Yeah,
listen. You get 100 combined tackles, everyone can do that. Oh, it's a rare list of people that have had over 100 solo tackles. To do that your rookie year? Are you kidding me? Plus on a defense that is really there's not much around him.
That was the year he had Andrew Luck, so it's not like Luck was like giving him the defense like the entire game where they're on the field. It's like he was just all over the place.
It's incredibly impressive. The 111 solo tackles this rookie year was just eye-opening. As a rookie to do that.
Yeah.
It's just it's crazy. I don't know how else to put it.
Yeah, I mean, like for a linebacker, 2 years into his career to have almost 300 combined tackles, 7 interceptions, 12 sacks for a off-ball linebacker.
I know. The 5 interceptions is just insane.
Just instincts and being in the right place at the right time. Like he just knows where to go and knows how to read the play.
And to do it so young, like the guy's going to get better. It's only 2nd year in the league.
Yeah, I mean, he's 25, so he was a little old.
Yeah, but Sure, but
He's drafted, but
still a second-year league. So let's put that in, looking at one thing I was curious about. So there was only one other player, believe it or not, to have over 100 solo tackles this year. It was Buda Baker, a safety of all people.
Yeah.
But he had 104. There was not a single other player this year besides him that had over 100 tackles. And mind you, Darius Leonard had 111 solo tackles his rookie year, which led the league. Like that, 100 solo tackles is impressive.
And that's got to be like historic that year he had, because he also had 7 sacks. Like
for a rookie, yeah.
And he's not rushing the passer,
No.
Like
guy can cover. The guy can make plays on the ball.
Yeah.
It's not like there's superstars all over that defense that make it easier for him.
Try to South Carolina State.
You go there.
Second round guy. Yeah, another second round linebacker. I mean, it's a trend. But yeah, it's just like I will say I think the reason his tackling numbers were down more is because they did more like drop back coverage for him in 2019.
Yeah, 5 interceptions to make up for it.
Yeah. So 5 interceptions, and I think they said, what was the stat? So his opponent passer rating never exceeded like 79. Like, that's pretty damn good. For a linebacker, you're not supposed to be, impacting that kind of rating. You're there for like milliseconds of like a slant coming across you, or if you have tight end responsibility. But
I think it'll also help that Buckner's on the team now, because there's really not much talent around him. Like that'll help their pass rush. That'll help the run defense. All the things I said about Warner is going to now play, into Leonard's hand. He doesn't have the whole Niners or defense line, but he's got arguably the best one from that line.
Who was the guy, the Chiefs guy that was on the Colts last year? What the hell is his name? Hall of Famer.
Justin Houston.
Is he still there?
Yeah, I think so.
I think he is, but that shows you what you need to know about their defense. Justin Houston's up there.
Yeah. I mean, him and Terrell Suggs are like on their recovery tour, so.
Yeah, but the thing with Suggs, though, the difference is I think that the Colts' leading pass rusher is Justin Houston.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really have much to say. Like, Darius Leonard came out of nowhere, and he was just the all-around package. Like, I feel like I've said that a lot about a lot of our linebackers on this list, but, like, that's – if you can do that, you're elite, You can tackle, rush the passer,
well, the only thing is he's going to get better, like you would assume. I don't think he's going to peak in his second year in the NFL.
I mean, what's his build is 6'2", 230, right around that normal build for a linebacker. So, it's rare that I had him and Edmonds were both just 2-year players, but they're both shown such crazy potential already. So, they're going to run the league for a couple of years now. So,
but yeah, they'll be fine.
Yeah, for sure.
So even crazier is the guy in his rookie year had 163 tackles, but he only played 15 games.
That's even – I didn't even notice that.
Yeah,
That's even more crazy. So you figure he probably would have had 170 combined tackles.
Well, at least. He had 121 tackles this year and only played 13 games.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's some linebackers don't even get to 116 games, so.
Yeah, no, he is a stud. And once the number one guy gives up the torch, I think Leonard's ready.
I think he'll be next up.
It could be next year, though. It could be next year that he's coming for that torch, though, because it's getting close. He's really, really dominating.
I mean, I'll let Pat announce our number one, unless Tim comes out of nowhere with some crazy ass shit.
Our number one guy is Bobby Wagner. 6-time Pro Bowler, 5-time All-Pro, 1-time Super Bowl champion.
Mm-hmm.
See, that comes back to, now that we mentioned it, that was the thing with Levante David is I know he doesn't have the numbers, but I would still consider him for Hall of Fame. The only thing he doesn't have those awards and stuff is because he got drafted with Bobby Wagner and Luke Kuechly. There's 2 linebackers on the All-Pro and Pro Bowl teams.
Yeah.
It's hard to really get in there when they're there every single year. Because when you look at the 5 All-Pros for Bobby Wagner, just think of how many of those years that Lavonte David had an All-Pro season, and he just took it from him.
I will say, I never all these lists we do. We look at other people's lists and videos and whatever, and there's always going to be some disrespect. But I saw so much disrespect for Bobby Wagner not being number 1 or 2. I saw him at 4, 5.
Really, I saw him number 1. I think on every list I looked at.
I mean, I saw some with number 1, but I saw a couple where the guys were like, "Yeah, he's just a little older." And I was like, Bobby Wagner has never had a bad year in his entire career. Like,
Oh yeah, he's a superstar. Like Pat said, he's 5-time All-Pro.
what was that number? 162 or 163 combined tackles for Darius Leonard in 2016. One of his 5 All-Pro years. 167 combined tackles. Now he didn't have over 100 solo tackles, but like those combined tackles are still huge. Like you could be the one starting those tackles, you know?
He did have 97 solo tackles in 2017, and he led the league then. But I'm telling you, 100 solo tackles is not easy to come by. That is something that's hella impressive.
But I mean, he's 30. He's been in the league since 2012, and he still is like Pro Bowl All-Pro year last year, led the league in combined tackles, 159. Like he's not slowing down at all.
I mean, and like the other thing, he's older, but besides, I think it was 2014, he played 11 games. That was the only year he really missed time.
Mm-hmm.
He pretty much was 16 games all the other years, except for 2 years when he had 15 when they already clinched the playoffs and he wasn't even playing anymore.
Yeah.
He was an all-decade team. He's just, he's the epitome. He led the league in tackles this year, so that's, hard to believe that he's fallen off when he led the league in tackles this year. Second time he did that in his career.
I mean, he's played eight or 9 seasons, and he's only missed so he's played eight seasons, and he's only missed 9 games. Durability,
and he's still performing. I know he's older, but leading the leading tackles this year and the fact that he doesn't miss games, I have all the faith in the world going forward in him.
Yeah, I mean, and KJ Wright, I always thought was a solid linebacker. He was with him for a while.
Yeah.
I think the Seahawks cut him.
They cut KJ Wright?
No, I believe he's still on the team.
I think he's still there.
Or maybe they restructured. I thought something happened with
I believe they restructured. Yeah, he's still there, though.
But, yeah, I think those two have been, they were the Urlacher Briggs for a while where they were just the best, like we said with the Dallas duo, they were some of the best. Like those two were like you game plan for Bobby Wagner, like because he's gonna fuck your run game up. He's gonna destroy your tight end when he comes across the middle. So
he's gonna he was the Legion of Boom. Obviously, everyone remembers for the secondary, but he had a huge part of that Legion of Boom team. Don't think that just because he wasn't actually part of the Legion of Boom back there, that he was a huge impact player.
Well, he's probably the only reason that it didn't fall off a cliff.
He's the reason they let Thomas and Sherman go. He's the reason that they're still pretty, they're okay now. I think I'm interested to see how him and Adams do because I think Adams is a really good player. They're going to have 2 elite defenders on that defense right now. We'll see how it goes.
I think Seattle's old. They have. I wouldn't say the best roster, but they have, I think, the most well-rounded team in the NFL. Like, their offense is good enough. Their defense is good enough. They have solid coaching. No, I think they're Super Bowl contenders.
Sure. Yeah, I think they easily. Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I don't think they're the best team overall in the NFL.
No, most well-rounded, I think. Like, you take, if you add, points, how good is your defense? How good is your offense? Your special teams, coaching, your quarterback. If you factor all those in, I think they're very well rounded where they don't have glaring issues. You know what I mean? You don't say, oh wow, their secondary's terrible or their offensive line's trash. They've come a long way.
I'd like to see a little more pass rush, but yeah, I guess I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's not you're not looking at you oh, that's the reason they're going to lose the game. You know what I mean?
No, I mean they're a solid team. They're in there, but I don't know if they're
definitely a playoff team.
I'm not saying I'm picking them for the Super Bowl, but I'm saying they're definitely in the discussion. I would say
they're in the top. They're one of the now they get
top 7.
Adams. I could say they're probably a top. I would even say maybe a top 3 team in the NFC.
Yeah,
NFC.
Brownie back too.
Yeah. They're a solid team. I mean, I want to see how much of an impact Jamal Adams is going to make. They gave up a lot from him, so they better figure out how to use him a lot. Yeah. I will say with him in the box, though, because Jamal Adams, I think one of we talked about in the safety video is he plays the run so well, and he's always in the box, and he rushes the passer. It's going to be tough to run on them with Bobby Wagner and Jamal Adams in the box. If you ever see those two there, I don't know if I would I'm going to check out whatever that is.
Yeah. But, like I said before, NFL execs, you got to listen to our podcast because 6 of my top 10s were second-round picks, so.
There you go. If they
including
didn't know
Mr. Wagner.
second-round picks were valuable yet, now they do.
No, well, you got to use them on linebackers. That's the key.
Yeah.
Silly me. I still think the most interesting thing we brought up is I I would not be surprised. I still think Levante David is a borderline Hall of Fame player. I'm telling you, if one of them wasn't in the same draft class as him, how many more awards would he have won?
I don't know, but I feel like that's like you could say that for like I don't know. Let's say Brian Dawkins didn't have the Pro Bowls and the All Pros to back him up. I feel like if he had the same amount of Pro Bowls as like Lavonte David, like I don't think Dawkins would have made a Hall of Fame. And I love Dawkins, but I don't think his numbers were at that level. And I don't know if Lavonte David's are.
No. Here's the other thing that hurts him. Is that his team has been pretty bad the whole time he's there. Dawkins was on some like elite Eagles defenses, and he was the best player on that defense. That helps him. It helps Bobby Wagner that he was a catalyst for elite.
Hall of Famer, yeah.
Well, yeah, but this is what I mean. He's an elite, like he is the catalyst to elite defense. Same with Kuechly. When they went to the Super Bowl that year, they were 15-1 or whatever. That was an elite defense he was playing for. They had a couple years where they were an elite defense. Lavonte David, now they're putting it together. There's really been no one around him. The team's been bad. Like the defense in particular. They got him players this year. They got the Vias being a solid player. Barrett emerged out of nowhere. They're starting to get some players to come around him now. But before that, they were terrible, and it hurt his chances of being voted to anything.
I mean, that's also the start of a really like Barrett. Was it Devin White, and now Lavonte David? That's a hell of a linebacking core there.
Yeah. So, I mean, I was looking at the All-Decade team, so it's obviously Bobby Wagner is a part of that.
Yeah.
And, you look at the linebackers that made it ahead of him. It's Luke Kuechly, Bobby Wagner, Patrick Willis.
Okay.
The two of them were in his draft class. Patrick Willis is obviously a stud. I won't kill him there because Willis was there before he got there in a while. But
yeah,
and if you if Kuechly didn't come in the same exact year, or if Wagner didn't come in the same, and the other thing is they're all in the NFC. That takes away his Pro Bowls. Mm-hmm. When you have to give up 2 roster spots on every Pro Bowl team because it's Bobby Wagner and Luke Kuechly. It's not much room to go around. Even though he's got no Pro Bowls or he's got 1 of each, I would still consider him a borderline Hall of Fame talent. When you look at the consistency, maybe
I would say borderline, but I don't know if I.
Yeah. Now that Kuechly's gone, and Wagner's still there and he's still good, but he could maybe throw a couple more Pro Bowls onto his name and help his chance. But I just think that you think about his career and everything. He's got the production. He's got the longevity. He's always been solid. The defense around him hasn't always been solid, but he's always been solid.
I mean, what is there? Two linebackers that make it out of the NFC for Pro Bowl, and that's Kuechly and Wagner. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I see what your point is.
Here's the other thing that we brought up. You know how we were talking about how 100 solo tackles is impressive? His first 3 years. His rookie year, 112, which is actually even more than Darius Leonard had his rookie year. The next year, 107. He was an All-Pro. And then the year after that, 101. Those are solo tackles.
I see, yeah.
And then after that, his numbers don't slip or fall off a cliff. It's just they're not as gaudy as before. But it's also his team wasn't great. Like his first 2 years, he had 20 tackles for loss his rookie year. And 21 tackles for loss the next year. You got to talk about, man, look at his rookie year. You had 112 solo tackles, 2 sacks, 20 tackles for loss, an interception, 4 passes defended. That's pretty good. He's been durable. He doesn't really miss games. I think he's missed like 4 or 5 games his entire career.
So 2013, his All-Pro year, he averaged 14 tackles a game.
That's pretty solid.
Yeah, with 107 solo tackles that year.
Yeah.
He's had over 145 tackles 3 years in a row from 13 and 15. He's getting back. His worst year was around 2016. And that's right around when the Buccaneers defense was a joke.
Yeah.
And then he's picked it up. Now he's slowly ticking back to like his normal production. The defense is getting a little bit better on. He's only 29. If he can pad his stats with a couple more Pro Bowls, maybe throw an All-Pro in there now that Kuechly's out of the league, I think he has a really good shot.
I mean, that also just goes to show how incredible Bobby Wagner is because we don't even need to keep talking about him. We skip around other linebackers. Yeah. There's no need to defend Bobby Wagner.
There's no better compliment than spending majority of Bobby Wagner's time talking about how
Lavonte David.
How he stole Lavonte David's class.
How Bobby Wagner's preventing Lavonte David going to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I mean, him and Kuechly are the same way. They're both so good, and their teams were better. David just gets hurt by that, it's hard to it's hard to ignore. But I still think longevity wise.
I think Wagner and Kuechly have been the best linebackers in the league for the past 7 years. So.
Well, here's another interesting stat. If you're looking at all-time career tackle leaders, Levante David is at 48 with 724. That's more than Kuechly and Bobby Wagner.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what?
Yeah.
Number 22 has 896. So I would not be surprised if he pops up pretty high in this list when it's all said and done.
Yeah.
He's good, man. I'm telling you, he just needs to pad his stats. Now that Kuechly's out of the league, he needs to pad his resume.
Pat those Pro Bowls.
Exactly, man. Just get the Pro Bowls. Now that Tampa's defense is solid. They're pretty solid now. And now that Brady's there, everyone's going to be talking about him. I guarantee he makes Pro Bowl this year. Just off of the popularity and name recognition he's going to get because everyone's going to be watching the Tampa Bay games.
Yeah, half the Tampa Bay team is going to make the Pro Bowl probably this year.
Oh, easily, yeah. Oh, every national game for the Buccaneers, even though they've had, 10 maybe the past decade, they're going to have 10 this season alone. Guarantee it.
Yeah, I think they have 5 right now.
They've really been a mediocre to awful team. Yeah, since he's been there, they have not been good. The defense has been particularly awful.
Yeah, that'll impact his thing. But some other players that I think could pad their stats this year and move up. Some players that missed my personal list, Roquan Smith, and then his buddy Danny Trevathan, who I think is he's getting older now, so he's not really. But McKinney was definitely in my discussion.
McKinney was in my discussion. I just didn't push him.
Devin White.
I was thinking of Bush.
Yeah, and Bush from the Steelers.
Oh, Bush will be good. Yeah, Bush will be good.
Yeah.
And you know what? I hope if we do this again next year that Isaiah Simmons is all just in my top 5 out of nowhere. Like that kid. He has all the intangibles that he could be legendary. Like his build, his skill set, it's just
where did he go to? What team?
Arizona. Yeah. But he's got strength, size, and speed. He's gonna be special.
If he can cover the tight end, one thing I learned from fantasy football is Arizona get torched by tight ends every single week. So if he can cover the tight ends, which is what they were all wavering about, is he basically plays safety and linebacker, and he can make an immediate impact.
I think he'll get. And then, Schobert, even Blake Martinez, I kind of looked at. Fred Warner and then Zach Cunningham they were in the discussion. So, but
yeah, I'd agree. I had all pretty much them. Dion Jones, Edmonds. They were kind of my top, next tier guys that just missed out on it.
I put Jones in just because I feel like he's been the only thing keeping that Falcons defense alive.
I agree. He gets hurt. And,
he only had one year when he was hurt, but
he's only been in the league for 3 years?
Yeah, happens.
We'll see. That dude from the Broncos had a good year too. Alexander Johnson came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Him and I like the Titans linebackers too. I like Jalen Brown and I like Rashawn Evans.
I saw them in a couple of lists, but I wasn't ready to give them a notch.
Yeah, it could be if you look at half the list is veteran, experienced guys. Half of them are younger guys. I could definitely see some of them slipping up. You never know. If David Davis and Wagner still keep producing, they're going to hold on to their top 5 spot. I think Leonard's just waiting for the torch from Wagner. He's the next. Generation.
Imagine if he plays a full season too.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's what I had. I think this was another rousing edition of the podcast. I'm a little disappointed that we pretty much all agreed, except for Pat's McKinney reference.
Yeah, he came out of left field with that one.
I'm glad because I didn't want to agree that much with you guys. But the top 5 was pretty easy on this one. It was the other ones.
Yeah, top 5 was.
You should tag McKinney on this just so he knows that he's got huge support.
Yeah, I got you.
I will. I'll make sure to. I'll make sure to Photoshop him in.
So, all right, gentlemen, it was a pleasure talking to you.
All right, Pat, thanks for joining us.
And, thanks for being on, Pat. I appreciate you going to a different room with light in the middle of the episode.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
I left the dungeon for you guys.
Dungeon.
At one point, I didn't know if it was, we were going to be able to see you or if there was a ghost coming or, what was going to happen.
Yeah, he was going to put his hands up and he was chained and call the police or something. But
I'm glad he was granted freedom for the rest of the podcast.
Yeah. He's granted freedom. The warden said, "Go on ahead."
Yeah, you're busy with some important stuff.
All right, boys. It was nice talking to you.
Good to
Nice
talk to
talking
you
to you
guys as well.
I'll have to make sure McKinney gets notified of his
Definitely
validation.
That one surprised me. I liked it though. Yeah. All right. I'll talk to you guys later.
All right. Peace out.
Peace.